Once again, I am in the wrong location. This is not the estate of Lord Memphis. Where have I ended up this time? Seto Kaiba, I presume. You, the consorter of dragons. It would seem that fate has delivered me my prize. Hear ye, all noble lords and ladies. Forward to an exciting day of duels and jousts here on the 100 days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Upon which every day, for 100 days, we shall be dueling with different decks upon which every single day. I am SirMemphis, noble knight added to the Curry Kingdom, and I welcome thee once more to our field of glory. I return to my own field of glory. I have won myself glory in the name of the King and God above, and the Lord hath blessed me this day for allowing me to lead a small contingent of the army of heaven itself. It's quite the honor indeed. Although saying I lead it is a bit of a misnomer. Only one man may lead these armies, therefore I am simply pointing in a general direction. And we are joining ourselves here with our Mokey Mokey monsters, divine heralds of the Lord above, and we shall be summoning forth these creatures and attempting to annihilate our foes' face. Now therefore, we have our deck today, thanks to Sir Spicy Boy, who has asked us to lead the armies of heaven into glorious combat here on the Master Duel game, which is slightly different than the EDO Pro game. It is slightly more shiny, I suppose. And we shall be summoning forth our creatures. We shall be using our combos and our wombos, our what and would not do's, in order to show forth how our Mokey Mokeys shall conduct themselves. Therefore, if thou wish to know what cards we are conducting ourselves with today, it shall be displayed at the end of today's festivities. For now, joineth the Curry Kingdom by hitting the subscription button, and also show thy support for our morale with the liketh button as well. For now, let us journey forth into today's duels, and give our opponents what for. Now, my lords and ladies, I welcome you to the first joust of another day and another joust, as we say. And our opening hand is for going second, and that is what we are doing. We have ourselves our hand, we have ourselves our monsters. I have procured funds from Lord Memphis's very own coffers, and procured us a field of honor that is worthy of knights of valor. That is right, this is the Dogged Magicka field, which is quite a glamorous one. I was looking for one that was more of a battlefield, but it is quite alright. Let's watch this as well. So what is my opponent summoning for? A skeletal horse of doom. Oh, I can get a much closer look at the cards here. Quite good indeed. Quite good indeed. Alright, so you've summoned forth some sort of demonic horse, of course. And what appears to be an infant dragon in some form. Quite odd. Regardless of which, it is now our turn, and I've searched out my treasured panda monster. Quite the competent creature himself. But we shall start by activating the Piercing of Darkness spell card. We will defeat the darkness here and now. We'll activate our Unexpected Dimension spell to summon forth the Mokey Mokey monster from our deck. Mokey Mokey is, of course, a mighty angel indeed. And by summoning forth a normal monster, I might summon him forth. And draw a card. Let's see. Any cards in mine hand? Let me think here. I shall activate mine Where Art Thou spell. And I shall ask Where Art Thou indeed. But this will allow me to search forth the other Mokey Mokey monster, which is Adrift. He looks very similar to the original one, but he's quite different. But by discarding this card from my hand, I might search forth the Mokey Mokey Smackdown spell. Quite a card, quite a card. You see, Mokey Mokey does not appreciate when heathens do battle against our monsters. He doesn't appreciate it at all. So let me think here. I need more spells upon my graveyard. That is true. I shall summon forth the treasured panda here. Let me think here. I think this will be quite good. We shall activate our Painful Decision spell. With this, I might send one of my monsters to the graveyard in order to search forth another. So we shall search forth the Key Mace monster for later. For now, though, I shall activate my Treasure Panda's ability. Every spell that I doth remove from mine graveyard, I might summon forth another monster. So I shall summon forth all Mokey Mokeys from mine deck. And we shall do this multiple times, for I have the ability to do so. So we shall remove yet another card, yes. Remove our spells. And this is what our deck wishes to do. We shall remove all the spells and summon forth all of the Mokey Mokey monsters in our deck. Now, in order for mine Smackdown spell card to work, I have to have one of mine fairies defeated. This Key Mace will make worthy sacrifice indeed. She shall make herself available to, you know, we shall use her to defeat our foes. That's what I'm getting at. So let us attack our opponent now. So we shall have our Key Mace. What does this monster do? It doesn't do anything. Very well. So we shall attack into the baby dragon here. And our monster shall be destroyed, but her sacrifice shall not be in vain. All mine Mokey Mokey monsters shall now become 3,000 attack points. Let's just see here. I must do, let's see, 18, that'd be 3,000. 3,000 more. Yes. So we shall attack with our Mokey Mokey monster. And then I shall activate mine Honest, another angel of the Lord, here to give us more damage. And that shall be all that we need to do in this duel. I could have attacked finally with the Mokey Mokey, but we'll allow the Panda to win us this first duel. And you get a perfect understanding, this is what our deck wishes to do. Summon forth our Mokey Mokey monsters, smack into my opponent, and lay them low. Their demonic horse did them no good. I'm not certain what the dragon was for, but you know, that's what they get for playing with dragons. Regardless, let us journey into the second joust of the day, continue to win ourselves glory in the name of the King and God above, and lay my opponents low. Oh, pardon me, goodness gracious. Bless me. Very well, it is time, my friends, for the second joust of the day. My turn is going second once more, which is what I wish to do. So our hand looks quite good indeed. Quite good indeed. I have mine spell. I have another spell. I have a third spell. And I have a Mokey Mokey monster. Therefore, it's quite a good hand here. Let's see. What is mine opponent playing? We don't yet know. They have no extra deck. I have an extra deck, of course. I like to use mine extra deck for various things. I have many different cards I can summon. Ones I don't really need, but I like to have them around. Especially this first of dragons. One day I shall find this dragon. I shall lay it low, much as the blue-eyed dragon. Regardless, what is this monster here? Reveal a fiend. When a monster is destroyed involving a fiend monster, let's see. This card does nothing. Very good. Very good indeed. So let us see what we have in our hand. Quite good indeed. Exactly what I need. We shall activate our Mokey Mokey Adrift monster's ability, discarding it to summon forth our Mokey Mokey Smackdown spell. Quite good indeed. We shall activate it post-forth. Let us set it forth and prepare ourselves for battle. For now, though, we shall activate our Unexpected Die spell card, with which I might summon forth the Mokey Mokey from my deck. And this will be quite good. Let's see here. How many monsters are in the grave at the moment? Quite good, quite good. We shall activate our 1-for-1 spell. By discarding a card from mine hand, I might summon forth another monster from mine deck, another Mokey Mokey, to join our legion of proud warriors. We shall summon forth our Key Mace, and I shall summon forth my brother-in-arms. I could summon forth the Lionheart, but his monsters are too small for that sort of thing. Let's see here. Indeed. We shall summon forth the Mokey Mokey. I mean, not the Mokey Mokey. We've already summoned Mokey Mokey. What am I talking about? I'm summoning forth Link Karibo, of course. A brother-in-arm indeed. For I now have the ability to summon forth 3 more creatures using my Tri-White spell. So summon forth all 3 of these creatures. Let's see. So I should put them all in attack mode. That will be quite good. Very good. Very good. And quite good indeed. See, my opponent has nothing to stop this, do you? Quite pathetic indeed. Alright, so let us proceed into the olden battle phase. The Key Mace will once again collide with my opponent's monster and lead us to glorious victory. Unless you actually had something to stop this. Perhaps you do, perhaps you don't. What is this? Let's see. My monster is still destroyed, however, you foolish fool. That did nothing to stop us. You think you can hate on me? I am a lordly servant of the lordly Lord in heaven. Therefore, none of your hatred can affect me. So there you go. Once again, laying into my opponent. No contest yet. I was under the impression this Master Duel contained some of the finest duelists in the land. Clearly, that is not the case. But let us proceed into the third joust of the day. This is going quite quickly, so we'll perchance have time for a fourth. More than likely. At the rate this is going, we shall be doing 10 duels. Regardless, let us proceed to the third joust and see if we can find an opponent with a spine that I can break. Well, my lords and ladies, welcome to the third joust of the day. We shall be going first in this particular turn, which is quite alright. I have methods for doing both. So let's activate first our enchanted fitting room spell. I execute 4 of the cards at the top of my deck, and any normal monsters that I happen to draw into will be summoned to the board. Unfortunately, I didn't draw into any of them. It's a little unfortunate indeed. Let me think about this. I don't have much. Let us activate our Mokey Mokey Drift monster, and search forth a Mokey Mokey for now. There's not much to start with, but it will be better than having nothing at all. Better than nothing at all. So we shall summon forth our brother-in-arms, the Link Karibo. We shall see where this goes from here. I have my Tri-White spell for later. That'll be quite good indeed. Let's see here. Let me think on that. I could use my card destruction spell. I shall wait till next turn. Perhaps it'll be better than if I can get my Panda monster. I can do quite a bit of damage to my opponent, even though I won't have my Smackdown spell at that point. Oh, goodness gracious. What is this? Is the Master Duel making me ill? Possibly. I'm not entirely certain. For some reason I keep sneezing. It's quite odd indeed. Oh, alright. So my opponent has searched forth a monster to their hand. And he has a Wyvern, which is a sort of dragon. Kind of an odd-looking dragon, but it is a dragon nevertheless. So what does this creature do? Its attack is halved, and you get a token monster. Very well. What will that do? You summon forth a wizard. I see, a dark wizard indeed. Let's see. Can only summon side burst monster. What on earth is that? Quite indeed. Alright. You've summoned forth 2 creatures. Nothing impressive. I've done this countless times. Since I've come to this world, I have summoned forth quite a few monsters in a single turn. Now, back in the Curry Kingdom, it's usually typical for 1 to 2 monsters per turn. In this world, it's quite a bit more than that. So what are you summoning forth now? What is this? Choose zones. You've stopped me from summoning forth as many creatures as I'd like, you see. Very well. Alright. Not exactly ideal, but not a problem so much. Let's see. Because of this spell, I cannot use my Link Karibo monster's ability. Quite a devious trick, if nothing else. Very well. Unfortunately, he chose the zone that the Taka was pointing to. I was going to use my Imduk monster, but I have drawn into my Panda monster. Therefore, we should be quite good here. Unless my opponent has something else. So see. We shall use our treasured Panda's ability, removing one of the cards from my grave. I only have 1 card in the grave, but you know, you get the idea. This will allow me to search forth another level 1 monster, and therefore, considering what I have at the moment, I shall summon forth another Mokey Mokey. Very good. Let me think here. I can bring back quite a few. Unfortunately, none of my Link monsters happen to be fairies themselves. Let me think on this. Let me think indeed. I shall summon 4. It's a difficult decision, this one. If I have the ability to use more Mind Zones, I might be able to do more with this. Regardless, I shall summon forth the World Chalice. Well, it's a dragon, but it is a monster. Let's see here. Let me think on that one. I think this works. I could be wrong about this. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and summon forth our Proxied Wizard. Unlike other wizards that my opponent might be using, this one is sanctioned by the king. We shall summon forth our Proxied Magician. Imduck will have an effect, but it doesn't really matter right now. And I shall activate my Mokey Mokey Smackdown spell card. This way, when my Mokey Mokey... Let's see, wait a minute. Opponent can activate cards effects at the end of the damage step, you say. Alright. I think this still works. I could be wrong about this. This card is a tricky one. But I shall summon forth my 3 Mokey Mokey monsters. I should mention that the Adrift monster doth count as a normal monster in my grave. Therefore, I might summon it forth. We shall summon forth all 3 monsters once more. And, while I do always, serve King Karibo, of course, in all things, I shall use the ability of the Proxy Wizard to summon forth mine Fusion monster. Very well. Well, I was going to summon forth my Mokey Mokey King. Unfortunately, my opponent didn't quite appreciate that. Well, that is unfortunate. I suppose I'll have to go for Plan B. Luckily, I am very good at Plan B. So we shall go forth and use our 2 monsters. We shall summon forth our Masquerena monster. Very good. And if my opponent wishes to stop me, they're going to have a bit more trouble with this monster. For I shall summon forth a Brave Knight to lay my opponent low. It is the Accessco Talker. He looks glorious. Quite glorious indeed. So our Accessco Talker monster will gain 2,000 extra attack points. And by removing the cards from my graveyard, and I have quite a few different attributes now, I can destroy the cards upon my opponent's board. So what is it? Does it do anything if I destroy it? I don't think so. I'll destroy it anyway, but first I shall remove his monster. I don't trust it. Let's see. Well, so my opponent has something else. Alright. Wait, what is this doing? Add a monster from the grave to the hand with the same type as that oh, very well. Alright, well that was going to happen no matter what I did. So you're getting back your Wyvern, of course you would. Of course you would want a Wicked Wyvern in your party. You absolute fool. Regardless, I shall remove thine spell, because I believe this does allow him to get more summons upon the board. Very good. See, I would like to use my card destruction spell, but I feel that that would be a waste of cards. Therefore, let's just lay into my opponent with my Accessco Talker and smite them with our Mokey Mokey. After which, my Link Karibo shall return to the fray, allowing me to deal even more damage to mine foe. So it is not quite what I was hoping to do. I was wishing to summon forth the King of Mokey Mokeys. If I'm reading this card correctly, because how the King of Mokey Mokeys works is that if he is destroyed in battle, he will summon forth all the other Mokey Mokeys from my graveyard. And that was my plan. Then the Mokey Mokeys would have gained their 3,000 attack points. Or barring that, I would have just attacked with another Mokey Mokey, either way. But that was what I wished to do. Unfortunately, my opponent wasn't so keen on that. I suppose they knew what I was planning to do, and they ran and hid like a coward. Very well, so you summon forth your Wyvern once more. I did consider using my card destruction to rid this card, because you clearly wanted this. Perhaps that would have been a smart play there, but it's neither here nor there. Very well, you've summoned forth 3 creatures yet again. Very well. Now what? You still have plenty of fight to you, I would imagine, but my monster is quite powerful, and if you attempt to lay into mine Accessco Talker and lay him low, mine Link Karibo is prepared to defend. Oh, I'm not quite sure exactly what you're planning to do. Hard to say indeed. But my monster cannot be bested by witches and such things, cannot be destroyed by the card effects thanks to the Masquerena monster. So I'm quite protected at the moment. We shall see. We shall see indeed. Oh? Using the card in thine hand. Very well, what does this creature do? Transcode Talker. Let's see. You target a monster in thine grave to summon it to the zone this card points to. Very well, and the dot scraper creature will revive itself, I see. Very well, my opponent still has some bites to them, I'd see. Perhaps that effect Veiler affected me more than I would wish it to. Or perhaps I should have just gotten rid of his hand, either way. Alright, so you summon forth your Splash Mage monster. Very well, summoning forth yet another creature from my graveyard. Very well. Summoning forth the generator creature again. Very well. But what do you yet have? Nothing yet is a threat to my access code talker. So it's not like I'm in any sort of danger or anything, correct? I'd say not. Another copy of my Tri-White spell will set me right straight again. But then it can summon forth of the Lionheart and simply attack my opponent with everything it has. Let's see here. Ah, you have your own access code talker, I see. That is quite vexing that you have the same... You are copying my play. Quite dishonorable indeed. Alright, so that may remove one of the materials from my grave, but thankfully, because of my Masquerena monster, my access code talker cannot be bested by witches, as I have already stated. So I'm not certain why you thought that that would work. Although you can remove the rest of my board, which is a little vexing here. Let's see, do you have any other linked monsters in Nine Grave? No, you do not. Very well. This is rather unfortunate. Unfortunately, my monster is still quite vulnerable to battle. I was prepared for this, but not anymore. Let's see, can't target them with card effect, that's quite alright. I think so, yes. But Tri-White right now would be very helpful to me. Let us see forth. The unexpected die spell is competent, but I require other things. We shall leave it to the Lord. If the Lord wishes me to win, it shall happen now. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. I think the Lord has told me I've won my duels thus far. Therefore, I must take stock of myself. Very well. Very well indeed. Well, regrettably, unfortunately, I did not draw into my Tri-White spell. If I had, it would have been the end of this duel right away. Let's see. I suppose the only honorable thing to do is to send my Mokey Mokey into battle. So, regrettably, we lose this third duel. But it was a good back and forth there. And my access code talker was quite a competent monster. If it wasn't for that effect veiler creature, that vile little fey creature, I would have won that duel for certain. My Mokey Mokey King would have laid my opponent low. Well, regardless, let us go forth into a fourth duel of the day. I think we've earned a fourth duel. Let us go into it and see what else we might summon. We have summoned forth our Mokey Mokeys and done that. We have still cards in our extra deck and other cards aside, so let us see what a fourth joust of the day shall bring. Verily, my lords and ladies, I welcome you to the fourth and final joust of the day. Let us see what we have in our hands here. This is an interesting hand indeed. Not a very powerful one. Let me think on this. Interesting. Quite an interesting assortment of cards. I will give it that. What is with my opponents doing either a full extra deck or none at all? It is quite odd. Regardless, what have you summoned? A Fiendish Warrior of Rhino. I don't know what Rhino is, but that is a fiendish monster indeed. Alright, so my opponent has summoned forth this creature. Set forth their cards. Let's see where this goes. I think we will have to take things a little slower here. I've drawn my least delectable card in the entire deck, but that's neither here nor there. So I activate our Pierce of the Darkness spell and summon forth the White Destarn monster. It's not the monster I normally wish to have. It turns out there are very few, level 1 light normal monsters in this game, which is quite vexing indeed. It would have been quite much better if there were, but that's neither here nor there. I shall set forth a card from my hand, and I shall end my... Yes, I shall end my turn there. That will be quite enough. My opponent might be vexed, but I have myself a strategy here. I have the Human Wave Tactics spell. You see, during my end phase, if my low-level monsters are bested, this will summon forth new ones from my deck equal to the numbers destroyed. Therefore, the more monsters I get destroyed, the better things will get. So when my Destarn monster is bested, I shall summon forth a Mokey Mokey. And thanks to my Piercing the Darkness spell, I will then be able to draw another card as well. So it is quite a good card to have. You know, it sounds like you play too many of, but at one copy, it's quite good. Quite good indeed. Anyway, so what is my opponent going to do? What does this card do? Fiend monsters can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, except for itself. Very well, but shall tribute summon it to summon forth a Beast of Shadows. I see. Very And this will send a fiend monster from thine deck to thine grave, you say. Very well. 74th whom exactly? Is this a fiend? This is not a fiend. That is an infant. Quite vexing indeed. Alright, so when it's sent to the grave, they'll get it face down upon the board. Very well. Very well indeed. Quite good indeed. Very well. I'm fine with all of this. I have mine angel from the Lord here in mine hand, and I have mine trap still. So I'm quite good with this. So upon them declaring thine attack, I shall activate mine trap card. That way, in mine end phase, like I said, I shall get another monster. We shall activate our Human Wave Tactics trap card, and use our Honest monster, so that our monsters shall destroy each other. Quite good indeed. That will allow me to get things established here. Quite good indeed. But like I said, I summon forth a creature, and this will allow me to summon forth another card to mine hand. I shall summon forth mine Mokey Mokey. And using my Pierce the Darkness spell, draw another card. I've gotten all my Mokey Mokey Smackdown spells, which is technically good. But not in this particular junction. Let me think on this. That is a difficult proposition, this one. I suppose I have little option here. I need more cards. I shall activate my Mokey Mokey Smackdown spell, and activate the card destruction spell, discarding mine hand to draw new cards. Okay, well, let me think on that. That will work. That'll work. That'll work. Not perfectly what I'd wish to have. What is this? When you as a beat a monster, destroys a monster in battle. Alright, some sort of Fey Queen, I see. You think that intimidates me? You're quite mistaken. I shall activate my 1-for-1 spell, discarding mine other Dust On, to summon forth another Mokey Mokey from mine deck. Let me think. I shall use my Pierce the Darkness spell, of course. Let's see. Summon forth my Key Mace, perhaps? That would give me another monster upon the board. I don't wish to destroy my monster, though, because this will... Actually, do you have any of those cards in you don't? Let me think on that. I suppose that will work. Very well. We shall summon forth our Key Mace. And we shall once more send it into battle. Now, this will be quite a bit of damage. Not going to lie, it's a bit of damage here. But it's quite alright. I'll get another monster in the end phase anyway. My last Mokey Mokey monster. It'll be quite good. So, yes. We shall attack our opponent's monster. What is this? Yes. Actually, what does this creature do? Neither can be destroyed by that battle. No, I'm not going to attack that creature. I wish my monsters would be bested in battle, which is clearly something this cannot be. What else does it do? To the start of the opponent's next battle phase, all attack position monsters cannot be used as materials. Effects are negated. I see. I'll have to think of something more clever to remove this creature from the board. Quite a vexing creature. Some sort of demon, of course. Some sort of demon. So this is send a fiend from thine deck to the graveyard, you say. Very well. And that's sent forth... whatever this is. Some sort of demon warrior thing. Hard to say. Regardless, it is now the main phase of the second. Let us see here. What can I do here? So that works regardless. I see. Okay, so it's only the monsters I currently control. Very well. I shall activate my Tri-White spell here. I shall revive my 3 monsters remaining. And we shall get ourselves something. I'm not entirely certain what I shall summon forth, but we'll summon forth something. Now, granted, I can't summon forth the creature I was hoping to summon forth, but that's quite alright, I think. Let me think on this. Let me think on this one. I can summon forth this bird creature. This will return my opponent's special summon monster to their hand. I suppose that's a competent thing at least to do. So we shall do as such. So I'll go ahead and summon forth the Ensemble Bird Blue, which is some sort of bird woman thing. But that's something quite good. So we shall end our turn. And again, thanks to our Human Wave Tactics, I shall summon forth the final Mokey... Oh, actually, yes, Yes, all of our Mokey Mokeys shall stay in attack mode. We shall not hide in defense. We have no need to. I simply need to find a way to get rid of this creature. It is quite the vexing card. My Accesco Taco will make short work of it, however. The only thing is, it can't be bested in battle. I can still attack it and deal damage, but he's likely to put it in defense mode. I would say is most likely to happen. Very well. Very well indeed. So now what might mine opponent do? I have my army of mine Mokey Mokeys, of course, of the Lord's army, but you know what I mean. We have our Mokey Mokeys. We have our Ensemble Blue Monster. And because of the Piercing in the Dark spell, if he attempts to attack mine bird, then my monster will become stronger. So let us see forth. You shall summon forth your goddess of sweet revenge. Of course, it's a vile heathen goddess, like all others would be. And you'll summon forth your creature, and you're attacking what exactly? What do you think you can do to stop me exactly? You would attack the Lord's men? You fool. You've made them angry now. Made them quite upset indeed. What do you think, Rebo? That's what I thought. What I thought indeed. Very well. So, does this do anything? I don't think this does anything. I think you just summon a monster that can attack, basically. But we'll use, again, our Pierce the Darkness spell card. Continuing to draw more things. Let's see here. Very well, very well, very well. Let me think on this. I wish to draw into more of my cards more than anything else. This is where I wish that there were more Mokey Mokey cards themselves. Because, you know, there's only the 3 normal monsters and the 3 effect monsters and the king and the spell. It would have been quite better if there were more monsters in them, but it's neither here nor there. I summon forth my Mokey Mokey Adrift here. And we shall use our Pierce the Darkness spell again, because again, this is a normal monster. Quite good. And let us attack our opponent. We shall not hide in defense ever. So now, my monsters will become stronger. Go forth, Mokey Mokeys! Earn glory in the name of the Lord! Smite my... Okay, we shall attack with our bird first. And that shall be the end of this duel. Alright, slightly more competent opponent, I suppose, but no match for our Mokey Mokeys. So let us journey forth into the end of screen, everyone. I think that's quite good. We have done what we came out to do and laying our opponents low. So let us journey to the end screen and talk more about the Mokey Mokeys. Now, my lords and ladies, our Mokey Mokey Smackdown deck went 3 duels out of 4. Quite a good showing indeed. My opponents saw forth mine Mokey Mokeys and did not know what to do with themselves. And they were only able to out us the one time due to treachery. Treachery indeed. But our deck is quite competent. It is very simplistic. But the Mokey Mokey monsters, they journey forth and sunder their opponents in the name of the Lord. And they do it quite efficiently. So our deck worked quite well. And I hope thou did enjoy today's festivities. If thou did, do not forget to do all of the things. I've said it before, I won't say it again. Regardless, I thank thee for joining us today. Our deck worked quite well. And here is the deck that we played today. Take it forth in the name of God and country, and win glory in the name of the King and the Lord above. So for our main deck, we have our 3 copies of the Key-based monster, 3 of the Mokey Mokey, 2 copies of this Flaming God monster, 2 copies of the Dust-On creature, 3 copies of the Mokey Mokeys Adrift, 2 Lordly Angels, Honest, 3 copies of the Treasured Panda. We have our Card Destruction spell, our Polymerization spell, 3 copies of the Enchanted Fitting Room, 1 Dragon's Mirror, 1 1-for-1, 3 of the Tri-White spell, quite good indeed, 3 When Art Thou, 3 Unexpected Dimension, 3 Painful Decision, which is never really that painful to be honest. I'm more than glad to send my cards to the graveyard. 2 copies of the Smackdown spell, 3 Piercing the Darkness, and 1 of the Human Wave Tactics. For an extra deck, we have the Mokey Mokey King, which I attempted to summon, but sadly was denied. We have our First of the Dragons, which is a heretical dragon, of course. We have our Lordly Lion Heart. We have our Sylvan Princess creature. Our 1 bird, our other bird. Our Lordly Double A Zeus monster. We have a spider, some sort of dragon. Our Link Karibo brother. The Masquerena monster. This wizard. This other thing that looks like Masquerena but is different. We have our Nightmarish Unicorn creature, and our Mighty Knight, the Accesco Taco. So that is our duel for today, everyone. And I shall depart. But do not worry, I shall return but one more time. perhaps 2, shall see, for this 100 days of Yu-Gi-Oh! For it is the final 25 days. There are 24 remaining, and I don't know what Lord Memphis has for tomorrow. I didn't ask. Though, Thou will have to join us tomorrow for more duels and festivities here, and we shall do our hearts out, as always. So, until the next day, my lords and ladies, I, SirMemphis, noble knight errant of the Curry Kingdom, shall bid thee a good day.